Hello, I'm Safi. Welcome to my first ever reading vlog. And I'm currently filming this after I have finished filming and editing everything for this video. And I obviously realized that I was missing an introduction. Either I forgot to film it or I just deleted it by mistake, lost it somehow. I have no idea. I thought I had filmed it, but I guess I hadn't. So here I am doing that. I just wanted to just quickly go over the things that I'm going to be doing in this vlog without spoiling anything, of course. But I'm going to be reading some spooky books and giving totally terrible reviews of them and almost useless plots, because that's what I do. It's just my mind has been all over the place this past week. It's probably going to be for the next week as well, because we're still in the middle of moving and it's all been so much. I've been working and moving and packing and cleaning, and that's been a lot of stress. Plus, yesterday while I was editing the video, my beautiful editing app kept crashing and I just was not in the mood to film because I was a bit upset. But I think I've been able to edit it just fine. I mean, it's not great. I'm still learning, but hopefully it's watchable. And I hope you enjoy it. I'll send you back to past me for my first ever reading update. Hello, I'm updating you from a bit of a different spot today. It's because it's raining outside and there's like no light. So this was like the only place where you could like see me and stuff. So yeah, today we are just filming on the stairs. Yeah, I'm just here to update you on the progress I made in Cuckoo. It's going great. I am really loving it. It's feeling like it's going to be a 5-star read. Hope to be able to finish it either today or tomorrow, and then I'll start a new one. Yep, we got the keys to our new house. It's very empty, but very pretty. Can't wait to make it ours and start living here. I'm gonna show you the room where I'm planning on building my little cozy library. Here is the room. Planning on putting loads of bookshelves about there. Maybe a little cozy armchair there, and maybe some plants, some fairy lights. Guess we'll just have to see how it turns out. Hello, it's the next morning and I'm here to update y'all on what's going on. Excuse the terrible lighting, but it's really dark today as well because it's raining again, and it's going to be raining all day. I finished reading Cuckoo yesterday and this was a 4.5 stars in the end. I really loved this book. It was so intense. It was so raw and so emotional and so well written too. This has like all of the trigger warnings. Like, I was updating my Storygraph yesterday. I always try to include content warnings whenever I update my Storygraph with the books I read. And this was like, I was going through the list like, yep. So be aware of that if you decide to read this. This is one of the most intense books that I've read, one of the books with most trigger warnings in general. It's not a 5-star just because the ending was very action heavy, very plot heavy, and I just had a bit of a hard time following what was going on. I don't know if it was because
of the audiobook because I don't know if I mentioned it, but I was reading this physically and following with the audiobook at the same time. But this was a great read, although as I said, it just lost me a little bit at the end there because of how much action there was, and I'm not a huge fan of action in books, but this was definitely great and I would recommend it. There was so much excellent body horror and queer representation, of course. There's a lot of characters in this, and it was a bit hard in the beginning to tell them apart. But the audiobook helps, definitely, because each of the characters has their own POV, and each one of them also has their own narrator in the audiobook. So that definitely helped. I would recommend listening to the audiobook of this. It was really, really well done. But yeah, 4.5 stars. Would recommend to, specifically if you love Eric LaRocca's books or Alison Rumfitt. This felt like a mix, like if you took It by Stephen King and mixed it with Tell Me I'm Worthless by Alison Rumfitt or Brainworms, you get this. It definitely had the It feel because it's like coming of age with a bunch of different kids that are kind of their own losers club in the end. And you see them grow up, you see them go through the most horrible trauma, and then you see them 16 years later, in this case, having to confront their trauma all over again. Which, yeah, as I said, it was intense and it gave so strong It vibes. And also so strong Tell Me I'm Worthless vibes, because this was very angry. This was an angry book, and all of Alison Rumfitt's books that I've read. I'm pretty sure she's only come out with 2 so far, but I read both of them and loved both of them. And they are so angry, so furious. Like, it's queer fury at its best, I think. This had it too. I'm definitely interested in reading more by Gretchen Felker Martin. I have not read Manhunt, her other book. I might have to add it to my TBR after reading this, because this was great. As far as other updates, yesterday evening we watched a movie called Apostle, despite the fact that it doesn't have a very high rating on Letterboxd. I actually thought it was pretty good. It's about a religious cult. It's set on a remote island, and the imagery was beautiful. The atmosphere was 10 out of 10. The atmosphere was the best part of the movie. The plot was also really interesting. The only thing I didn't love was that the characters kind of felt like a bit flat. And their dialogue was honestly kind of cringy. But apart from that, I really enjoyed it. There were some really intense, gory scenes towards the end, and I love them. I honestly did. There were a few things that kind of didn't make a whole lot of sense, maybe, but you know what? Not everything has to make sense. So yeah, I would definitely recommend it if you like films about cults. I have gotten hold of some boxes finally, so today I'm gonna start packing, and I was thinking I would listen to an audiobook while I do that. I was planning on starting Ghost Camera by Darcy Coates. We'll see if I actually end up doing that. But as far as next physical book that I'm gonna start, I was thinking Firestarter by Stephen King, because it's a library copy and I have to give it back. I'll update you when I have something else to say. Bye for now. Hello again. I coming with another little update. It's a few hours later. I've been packing and packing and packing and packing. I have filled all the boxes I had. It feels like I've packed nothing. Like, I managed to pack most of the things we had in the bathroom, but not much else. So yeah, today we're probably going to have to go over to the new house and unload the stuff in the boxes. And I also wanted to update you on Ghost Camera, because I wasn't aware of the fact that it's apparently like a novella plus a few short stories following other things, completely unrelated apparently. So I wasn't aware of that. I thought it was a full-length novel. But yeah, well, I finished the novella, The Cold Ghost Camera, and it was actually really good. I had a good time. It kept my attention for the whole length of it, which is uncommon for audiobooks. I tend to get like very distracted while listening to audiobooks, but this one was great. I had a good time. It's a story about this woman who finds a Polaroid camera and she uses it to take a few pictures just to try it out to see if it works. She notices that there's ghosts in the pictures that she takes with this camera, which is obviously a bit unusual, a bit discomforting. She freaks out, makes a few mistakes, let's say, with this camera. I don't know how much would be a spoiler since it's so short. She tries to get help to understand what's going on with this camera, but the expert kind of refuses to help as soon as she mentions this camera. And suddenly she's feeling some icy hands touch her sometimes, and she's starting to hear voices, maybe see some shadows that shouldn't be there. It was very entertaining, I have to say. And I've listened to a couple of the stories that follow after the end of Ghost Camera. Yeah, so far they've been all right. Not as good as Ghost Camera itself, but decent, I would say. I zoned out a little bit during one of them because it wasn't necessarily as interesting, but I'm listening to one now that has to do with some death birds, like that are a bit of some kind of death omen that start to fly around people when they're going to die. And there's this place where a lot of them have gathered and nothing has happened there yet. So I'm very, very interested in finding out what's going to happen there, because there's like apparently never been that amount of death birds in one place. So yeah, I'm gonna find out what happens now while I make myself some lunch. I guess I'll update you later with how it's going. Hello, it's the next day, if you can't tell by my change of outfit and change of scenery. I'm currently making myself lunch, trying desperately not to chop my fingers as I'm chopping this zucchini. But thought I'd just update y'all a little bit on what's going on and what I've been reading. I finished Ghost Camera by Darcy Coates. That was actually really fun. I had a great time. I did not know why I was expecting to not love it, but I did. So yeah, I just had a really, really good time reading it. It was so fun. The other stories in the novel were also pretty good, I have to say. Ghost Camera was definitely my favorite, but the last one was very good too. It felt very much like Ring style, like The Ring, because it was about some VHS tapes, and like if you watch them, things might happen to you. I don't know how much to say because these are all very short, so I wouldn't want to spoil too much. All right, now everything is cooking, so I can continue the update. Hopefully you don't hear it too much, but I kind of forgot what I was saying again. But yeah, I started Firestarter while playing Stardew Valley. I am planning on continuing Firestarter while I pack today. And hopefully I can get some more Stardew Valley played, because I have such a good time. I love that game so much. Sometimes I pick it up and then I become obsessed with it for like a few days. And then I put it down and I don't pick up my Switch again for months. And then I pick it up again. That's just how I like to play most games. Anyways, I also wanted to update you on what I've been watching, if you're interested. I'm planning on keeping updating about what I watch as well as what I read. So hopefully you like that. But yesterday evening we watched a movie on Netflix called Creep. I did not have like super high expectations for it because I saw that the score on Letterboxd wasn't too high, and maybe I just should not trust these scores on Letterboxd just as much as Goodreads. But we loved it. It was so good, so creepy. Like, it goes from basically like 0 to 100 so quickly, and like the beginning was making me so uncomfortable, and as we went on it just kept getting creepier and creepier, and there were a couple of scenes in which I had goosebumps. And that doesn't happen very often. It happens way more often with movies than with books. I don't know if I've said that, but movies tend to scare me way more than books do. It was so weird. It was a movie about this guy who takes this filming job for a day. He has to go to this cabin where the man who hired him is expecting him, and just be there the entire day and film him doing various things and talking. And in exchange, he gets paid quite a bit, like $1,000 or something for one day. I mean, tough to say no, right? Except for when he gets there, this dude that he's supposed to be filming is super weird and super awkward from the beginning. And you can tell that he's not being honest about things, but you don't know exactly what he's not being honest about. And it's so creepy, so creepy. It made me so uncomfortable. Well, definitely recommend watching it if you're into horror movies. As far as other things I've been watching, apart from YouTube, I watch obviously a lot of BookTube. That's like my favorite thing to watch. But on top of that, I've been watching this documentary on Netflix. I have it open here right now. Actually, I'm gonna watch the last episode while eating, and it's the one called American Murder, Lacey Peterson. I had never heard of this case, and I just put it on the other day because I didn't know what to watch, and it's so interesting. It sucked me right in. So yeah, I just need to know how it goes. I'm just gonna keep watching that while having lunch, and then I will update you later on what I've been reading. Hello vlog! It's currently Friday, and if I look a bit disheveled, it's because I am. I've just come back from work and it was way warmer outside than I expected. I'm so sweaty, I feel sticky all over. I need a shower. But first I wanted to update y'all. I've continued Firestarter by Stephen King. I don't know if I'm living, laughing, loving with this one. It's there's a bit more action than what I like, what I tend to like. And it's like this father with his daughter, who's the fire starter girl, that are just running around, running away from the government that's looking for them. That's basically it, and she's setting fire to things, whether she wants it or not. So that's pretty much how the plot is going. As far as other things, I've gotten a couple of new books that I want to show you. I work at the bookstore, and so I often order myself books to be delivered there so that when I buy them, I get staff discount. I got 3 books. 2 of them I ordered and 1 of them I just snatched from the shelf. Let's see, the first one is Something Wicked This Way Comes by Ray Bradbury. I read The Martian Chronicles by Ray Bradbury a few years ago, and I love it so much. I'm not huge on sci-fi, but that book has some of the most memorable stories and short stories that I've ever read. This is the story of this circus that comes to town during the night, and these 2 boys that find it, and something spooky happens there. And also, of course, it's set around Halloween time. I was thinking of reading this in October. Anyways, the next book is Whisper by Chang Yu-ko, and this is translated by Roddy Flag. This is a Taiwanese horror novel. I've never read any books, especially not any horror from Taiwan, I don't think. So yeah, I just thought I would try this out. Whisper is a plot-driven Taiwanese horror story. Chang Yu-ko cleverly combines Taiwanese folklore, the Japanese occupation of Taiwan, and the long-term mistreatment of the country's Aboriginal people into a tale of how the past can still kill. And that sounds incredibly interesting to me. So I can't wait to read this. And last, something that is probably a bit out of character for me, but I just saw this cover and I couldn't resist this book, okay? It's The Cinnamon Bun Bookstore. Now, I have not read The Pumpkin Spice Cafe, which is the first one in this series, but I've seen that I can read this one as a standalone, which is what I was thinking of doing anyways. And I don't even own the first one. I don't read that much romance. And when I do, I prefer it if it's queer. But look at that cover. It's stunning, it's shiny, it's set in a bookstore, and it has all the cozy fall vibes, and apparently it's also spicy. I just want to read something cozy sometimes amongst all of the horrific books that I read, which I love them, but once in a while I just like to have a cozy read, just so I don't completely lose my mind. I hope to be able to read this fall, because I don't think I'm going to want to read this in any other season. That's what I wanted to update you about. I think that I will leave it at that for now, and I'll see you whenever I've read some more or have anything else to update you on. Bye! Hello vlog! It's currently Sunday afternoon. I didn't update you yesterday because it was a very, very full day and I just didn't have time. I didn't have time to read and I didn't have time to update. I was at work in the morning packing more stuff to bring to the new house in the afternoon, and in the evening we actually went to a very nice party. Some kind of pride party. We had pride festival type thing yesterday in our town. Of course I was working while there was
while the parade was going on, but I was able to go to this little party. It was nice. There weren't that many people. I was hoping that there would be more. Went with some friends and it was a fun time. Anyways, going back to books and moving updates. This house is looking pretty much empty right now. Like there's still a bunch of things to bring to the new one. Maybe because we've just brought the sofa to our new house and that one obviously takes up a lot of space. So now it's looking so empty. I'm here to actually end this vlog because I was thinking to start editing it soon and see how it turns out. Hopefully it's fine. Hopefully it doesn't suck. I'm updating now also because this is probably the last time you're gonna see these bookshelves here behind me in this house, because I've already started packing the lowest shelves, and as soon as my partner brings me more boxes, I will pack the rest and hopefully be able to move the entire bookshelf and all of the books to the new house. So yeah, hopefully I'll be able to start updating you from there instead. But as I said, I'm here to end this vlog, and I don't know if I should do a recap of what I've read this week. I'm not even sure I can do that. My mind is a bit all over the place right now. So this week I've read Cuckoo by Gretchen Felker Martin. Gave it, I think it was a 4.5 star. Loved it. Would recommend if you like queer horror and a bit more extreme type body horror. Book number 2 was Ghost Camera, I think, by Darcy Coates, which was a 4 star. It was also really nice. Great audiobook, which I listened to while starting to pack. So I guess I'll always have that book connected to this specific time. Just like I have Dracula connected to the last time we moved, because that's what I listened to. We were driving from the old town where we lived to the new town, which was a 6-hour drive. So every time I think about that book, I think about moving here in the house we're currently leaving. So now I'll have Ghost Camera connected to this time, and Firestarter, which is the one that I listened to after. I gave it 3 stars. I don't know if I've talked about Firestarter yet, because I finished it on Friday, I think. Or was it yesterday? Maybe it was yesterday, actually. So yeah, I gave it 3 stars. It wasn't my favorite Stephen King. I would recommend it if you like action-packed novels. I don't know, it wasn't even that horror. I'm not saying it was a bad book by any means. It was just maybe not really for me. So thank you for watching. And if you've gotten to this point of the vlog, well, thank you. I really, really appreciate you. I would love it if you could leave a like and a comment and tell me what you've been reading. Like, if you don't know what to comment, just tell me what's the last book you read. I guess I'll see you in the next one, hopefully in the new house. And bye!